Over the weekend, football gave us a lot to talk about, so let's talk about it. We have two champions, one from England, one from Spain. Liverpool officially crowned the champions of the Premier League, and then there was Barcelona. But first, we go to Liverpool, who won 5-1 against Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur hasn't been in good form this season, having been 16th coming into that game. We kind of knew they would take an ass whooping, but we didn't know it was going to be this bad, knowing that they got the first goal of the game to Solanke. But then it is all about Liverpool, the performance to get the trophy that they wanted to get to become the most respected team right now in England. If for those of you who saw what Gary Neville had to say, saying that look, right now these guys are the bigger team, they've got the highest amount of titles and stuff. You know how big this was, and then there was the case of Mo Salah, who ended up surpassing Aguero as the foreign player with most goals. It was just that kind of season for Liverpool. But then we've got to look at the downsides. Liverpool has had a great season because they won the Premier League. We will not take that away from them. But we've got to look at the fact that, look, they were knocked out of the Champions League, knocked out of the FA Cup, and did not win the Carabao Cup because they lost that to Newcastle 2-0. And it brought about some remembrance of last season. Though Liverpool fans will say, oh, we don't care, we got the Premier League. But we've got to talk about the fact that, look, they had a chance to do at least a treble or a quadruple and could not make any of these things happen. Now, yes, Anisot has said that, oh, we'll be going into the market come next season. We'll be trying to get more players and stuff. We want to see that because if you ask me, I don't want Kunati starting next season. Neither do I want Andy Robinson starting next season. This guy showed certain blunders that, if you ask me, did not help the team in any way, shape, or form. This man right here has been fantastic for them, but outside this man, the rest of the defense has not been so good. And then there's still the Trent Arnold case, which is hanging. Apparently, Real Madrid's agents are in talks, but we do not know where that is going for now. So fingers crossed on that conversation. But then Liverpool needs to go to the market, knowing that sources are saying that there is a big chance that Darwin Núñez will be leaving Liverpool come the end of the season. But then moving on, my boys made me proud. Yes, Barcelona won the Copa del Rey. It is trophy wins upon trophy wins. When we look at this season, we are happy because last season was horrendous for us. We did not win trophies. It was not good. And then we're coming into the season winning the Super Copa, winning the Copa del Rey, full position to win the league, and we are still fighting to win the Champions League. It's been that kind of thing for Barcelona where we can look back, relax, and say, yeah, we've had a great season. Not that we'll say, okay, our season has been the best. But, when you're winning trophies, you can be satisfied because we've had games where we don't even know what we were doing. Take the Dortmund game, second leg, for instance. We basically escaped because who knows, if more time were added, maybe Dortmund would have gotten more goals. But then it's not about that. It's about the fact that Barcelona is winning. But then, like every fan, there is always the conversation of looking at next season. What's going to happen with Barcelona? I know that one of the links we are currently linked to right now is Marcus Rashford. Do we get Marcus Rashford? I don't know. But then I'm just glad. I'm happy with the players, especially this young man right here, Lamine Yamal, who in my eyes can do no wrong. Going into this game, there was a lot said about this young man, but then he proved a lot of people wrong, getting 2 assists, bringing us back into the game, to be honest. That pass was a worldie. The finish was beautiful. And then we go talk about the guy who really won the game for us, Kunde. He was magnificent. He was beautiful. And these three guys right here have been people that people do not talk about a lot. Inigo Martinez. Let me say that when we got this guy from Athletic Club, he was injured at the time, he couldn't play. He got back, he was fit, and we brought him in. I didn't know what to expect from Inigo Martinez. I'm going to be very honest. Did not know what to expect. But this guy has become a solid rock in our defense. A man who he stands tall, he's constantly making those tackles that you wouldn't even believe he would be able to make. And he's been amazing. And then there's Pedri. Look, this season, I know that Frankie de Jong, since he became fit, has been amazing. But you can take nothing away from Pedri. Because aside the fact that, yes, obviously one player of the month, when you watch his performance, you see a man who has class, style, intelligence of the game. Basically, is what you would call a football genius because the way this man sees the game, the way he reads the game, the places he's in, the positioning, the passing, It's just beautiful. And look, I'm saying this, and most people may not agree, but I do feel that Pedri does have a shout for the Ballon d'Or at this point in time. But then we've got to talk about the other side, Real Madrid, who they've had a torrid season. I'm not going to lie. Real Madrid has had a torrid season, and we've got to have a conversation about it. But first, before we have that conversation, I need to say this, that the Real Madrid fan base, if you ask me, have been disrespectful to these guys in a certain way. Now, we are quick to forget that these guys won the league and the Champions League last season. And we've known that this team has done so well before now. But then they lose, and I'm seeing so many comments on Twitter. Madrid, they are not so good. This is not a good team. Vinicius is this one is this. This is the same Vinicius that was running riot last season. And now they are quick to throw him under the bus. I don't understand Madrid fans. This man was your star man last season, and you're throwing him under the bus. As a rival fan, I feel like that's unfair. If you've got a player that did so well the season before, just because he's not having a good season, does not mean you throw him under the bus. I've had so many negatives when it comes to Vinicius Junior that I am surprised that it's coming from Madrid fans. And then Madrid as a team, yes, like I was saying earlier, they have not been good. And the main focus of conversation for quite a while now has been Carlo Ancelotti. Let us start by saying that, look, this man is currently linked to Brazil to be their national team coach. I think it might pull through if he doesn't find a way to win the league, because if there's one thing we know about Papa Perez, he's not the most patient man in the world when it comes to things like this. And when the noise from the fans becomes too much, he's quick to oblige. So the chances of Ancelotti staying as the coach of Real Madrid is still slim. With Brazil, offering him a very lucrative contract. And I'm not going to lie, if anybody is in his shoes, they might actually end up taking the deal. But then, like I said, just like they threw Vinicius under the bus, they've thrown this man under the bus as well. And I feel it's unfair because last season, everybody was like, oh, Ancelotti with the eyebrow. Yep, everybody was doing that. And if you're not doing anything about, how this man could just lift up his eyes and the game will become better. And now the team is not doing so well. And everybody is like, oh, Ancelotti is this, Ancelotti that. Yes, one thing we cannot take away from Madrid, there was no game plan. You watch many of their games, there is no game plan. But that doesn't mean Ancelotti is not a good coach. I guess things didn't just work out. And then we know that right now, Madrid are looking at Xabi Alonso to be his replacement. This man has said in the coming weeks, he will decide if he's staying at Bayer Leverkusen or not. I most likely think he might not stay, depending on what happens with Ancelotti in the coming days. I don't think he will stay. Not because Bayer Leverkusen is not a good team, but everybody wants a bigger challenge. If you're a manager at a certain stage, you want the challenge. You want to be able to coach a top-class club. And he's no different from the lot. If Madrid were to come with the right offers, he should take it. But then one person that I will give praise to, and I have spoke about a lot, is Kylian Mbappe. Look, Madrid has not been all that good this season, but Kylian Mbappe has been some sort of an influential player since he got running. Now, when he started, it wasn't so bright. True. But as he began to progress with the team, as he began to play, his game improved. And I'm going to give Kylian Mbappe all his credit because currently second highest goal scorer behind Lewandowski. The man who literally gave them the equalizing goal in the Copa del Rey. Kylian Mbappe can do no wrong. Yes, he's taking the shine off Endrick, who is looking like he wants to shift side now and say, I don't know if I'm going to be in Madrid. But this man has been the difference maker for Real Madrid. I do hope to see a better Real Madrid next season because I love the competition. When it's competitive, it's interesting. The El Clasico is picking up again and we love it. But then we've got to talk about the actions of the likes of Rudiger and the rest. I dare say I saw this morning on an article where Rudiger said, his actions were unexcusable and he shouldn't have done what he did. I'm glad you gave an apology, but then you should go. You should get a ban because you should get a ban. Because you can't do what he did and just walk away with it. First of all, is The ref in this game, if you ask me, was fair enough. Most people will come and say, oh, he wasn't totally fair. Oh, there was this incident. There was incidents on both sides. Whether you like it or hate it, there was incidents on both sides. And the way most Madrid players reacted, they shouldn't have reacted the way they did. But then a critical topic comes up, and we are moving to Italy with these guys. For those of us who have followed Inter Milan this season, we've known that they've had such a great season with Inzaghi as their coach and how well they've played, how well they've defended, and how well they've gone going forward. But in the last 3 games, Inter Milan has been a shadow of themselves, losing firstly to Bologna, to AC Milan, who we all know this season has struggled. You know, they've struggled. Yes, of late they've been playing well with, I don't know what Constant is doing right, but they've been playing well. And then to AS Roma, the performance has dropped. And it is sad to say, because you and I know you've got a big Champions League game against Barcelona. It's big. And when you are having this kind of form where it's 3 losses in a row and your team is looking like they are tired, because for those of us who saw the Roma versus Inter game, first of all is they looked like they were tired in the second half. Second of all is they missed a lot of chances. I don't know what is going on with Inter Milan. In front of goal, they have been bomb chicks. And when it comes to the battle in the midfield, for some reason, they keep losing out and they get themselves in perilous situations that end up becoming a problem. And when it becomes a problem, when you're going to play against a team like Barca in the Champions League, it's not going to be good, because we all know Barcelona is in great form. Inter Milan right now, not so great. However this match is going to play out, it doesn't look like a game that will favor Inter Milan. But then moving on, more English talk and still Champions League talk, it's Arsenal. So far so good. Arsenal fans will say, we are still in the Champions League and the season hasn't been so bad. To be fair, it hasn't been so bad. Arteta has been second now for 2 years running. This year's making the third. They haven't been a bad side, but they haven't won the Premier League yet. And they are going into a tough game against one of the most, would I say, the most electrifying team right now in football. Now, I will take nothing away from Arsenal. They are such a great team when they play together, when they work together. But you are playing PSG. And look, PSG has become a force to reckon with. I dare say that the Arsenal team that played PSG then and the PSG they are going to play now are 2 different ball games. But then the big question is, where did it go wrong for Arsenal in the league? Now, as the season progressed towards the second part of the season, Arsenal had a lot of injury issues. Saka, Martinelli, Kai Havertz, and so many injury issues. And we all had that conversation where we said one of the biggest problems Arsenal was having was his striker. And we were expecting some kind of, to be honest, we were expecting some kind of Victor Gyökeres. I'm telling you, we were expecting it. We expected that this man would try to push. Currently, this guy is on the roll. He's getting goals. We thought Arteta would push for something like that, or a striker during the January transfer window. He did not. And I will not say that his ideas are not working, but they are not going to give you results in every game. And this is the Premier League. First of all, is what makes a league really difficult is the fact that every team you've played them for a quite number of years, and they know the way you feel, the way you play. They understand your ideologies, so they know how to come at you in every game. It's not like the Champions League that just because I met Madrid this year does not mean I meet Madrid next year. You get me? Those kind of ideas are there. And besides, since they are there with you in the league, they can literally come and find a solution to the way you play. Arsenal lacked a number 9 and it affected them a lot this year. They missed goals and they drew games that if they had won would have become a whole different conversation. But now you've got a game against PSG, and I don't know, but I will say that this will be a close call for both teams. PSG right now are in the form of their lives, no doubt. PSG right now, you've got Doué, you've got Kvaratskhelia, who is just a brilliant player. You've got Dembele, who has been in the form of his life. You've got Bakola, who, yes, he slowed down a bit, but he's so good. You've got the Neves, you've got Vitinha, you've got Luis. They've been good. You've got Pacho, who has been amazing in defense. And now, you've got an Arsenal team that still doesn't have a striker. You've got an Arsenal team that still doesn't have a striker. And the Champions League, at this stage, you need a clinical 9. I don't know how the game is going to be, but I feel like Arsenal needs to come up with something quick. If not, it might not end well for Arsenal. And I'm not trying to be a hater, but that's just what it is. And last but not the least, we have one of the FA Cup finals that, if this was last year, I would say it would be one-sided. But this year might actually have a different turn to it. Man City, or would I say a rejuvenated Man City, is coming to play a Crystal Palace side who can be very unpredictable. Congratulations to Man City on their win, but I did feel that that game, Man City were a bit lucky because Forest were wasteful. The chance by Morgan Gibbs-White, I don't know how he missed that. You literally missed a sitter after Guavio gave the ball away. The other chance, I've forgotten who missed that one as well. It was that kind of game for Forest where they would have taken the bull by the horn and tried to win the game, but could not make it happen. And they got punished. They honestly got punished. It was sad to see, to say the least. And Man City are in the final. If you asked my prediction in this game, I would likely say Man City to win, because right now, if you've watched Man City, they've been so good. But I would say it is close because Crystal Palace, like I said, can be unpredictable. Although Man City fans will be of the opinion that we did beat them in the league not so long ago, we can do it again, which gives them the edge, if you ask me. But we'll just have to wait and see. And Champions League night is here again. Honestly, I can't wait. These fixtures are looking good. To be fair, these are my predictions as far as the fixtures go. I think Barcelona gets the edge over Inter Milan. I think at least a 2-3-1 win. And for Arsenal PSG, I think Arsenal wins the first leg. I can't say much about the second, but I think Arsenal wins the first leg against PSG. But in the second leg, I do not know. But I know one thing. I'm certain that Barcelona may most likely make it through. But for Arsenal, I can't say the same until the final whistle.